So I'm going to teach you about how to work on Swedish household examination records. And so Swedish household examination records are the records that the minister kept in each parish that show what level of knowledge they have for the religious standards that they have. But we can also use it in genealogy to help us find different people. In this video series, I will primarily be using Archive Digital, and that is the website that has color images. As of towards the beginning of 2018, the Swedish National Archives, you will commonly hear this referred to as SVAR, S-V-A-R, they made their records online free. Before you had to pay to have access to their website, but now you don't. And so that is the website that I recommend using for Swedish family history, and instruction on how to use that website will be coming later. And also, because I have set up the images already, it will obviously, I won't be showing every single thing that I'm going to be doing with my keyboard and stuff. So this is an example of a household examination record in the parish called Ness. And on the top right here, we have the heading that talks about the person's name. So this is where the person is listed. This is their birth information. This is where they were born. This is when they were born. And here's some other things. And then this is moving in to this parish, moving out of this parish, and some different things right there. And so we're going to start with a person named Gustava, and she is right here. So the first thing I do is I figure out where I stand. So from this image, I know this is her name. She was born in Dimbo in 1824, the 17th of January. And then here's some moving information that we won't worry about right now. In the description for this video, there will be a link that will have a handout. And in that handout, there will be the translations for the headings that you can use for reference. And then we're figuring out what we're going to do next, where we're going to look for them next. And so, in this case, we're going to want to know where they moved to. So now we're going to worry about that moving information. So right here, we have the moving information, moving out information. Right here is the place they moved to, and here's the year, 1848. And so this right here is going to be either a parish or a village. And a parish is larger than a village. And so this right here is a village. And so what we need to do is we need to go to the correct book for this. So in order to find out which book to go to, we look at this moving year. And so this is 1848. And so we want the household book that covers the year 1848. And then that will have this farm as well. And this same household examination book covers 1848. And so what we're going to do is we are going to go to the index. So this is the index of the book. And so then we look for that village. And here it is right here. So the household examination page told us that she was moving to this village. And so we looked in the index, we're looking in the index, and it says that that village starts on page 23. And so that's where we are going to start. The villages often cover several pages, and so we'll have to go forward some pages. And but we'll look through all of the different people in that village until we find her. And so this is page 23, as you can see up here. And right here shows the name of the village. So then we're going to go through and we're going to look for this person. And so the easiest way to look for them is to look off of their birth year. And so she was born in 1824, and so we'll go down and look for in 1824. And so we can look at the names, but it is easier just to look for the correct year. So here's 1769, 1780. And so we'll look through until we find 1824.
If you cannot find an individual when you are looking for them by their birth year, the next step is to go and look for them by their name. Because sometimes the birth year is written wrong, or you just don't see it, and it's easier to see their names.
See if you can find it as well while I'm going through this. Okay, so then I switched pages. This, page 24. Okay. Oh, 1824. So then we go on to our next step, which is to make sure that it is the right person. And we come over here. No, it is not the right person. So we move on. And because this household examination record has the same headings on the left side as on the right side, we're going to look on the right side as well. And every time we look at a new page, I forgot to do this in this last one, we want to make sure that it still matches what we were looking for, that we didn't get into a new village. So we see right here that it is still the same village. So we're still good. So we'll keep on looking through this village, looking through the birth year. Okay, next page. Here's page 26. And, oh, let me check yep, we're still good right here. Here's the village name. And here's the parish that we're in, which has been the same. Okay. Going down. Not on that side. We go on this side, still the same. And see if you can find it. There it is right there, 1824. So then we do the same thing and we see if it's her. Oh, it is. Same name, the same birthplace, and 17th of January. Perfect. And it even says that she moved from a place in 1848. And this was the village that she was living in before. And so here it is. We found her. We found another occasion of her. Now, if you notice, this right here is page 27 that she is on. If we go to the place where we were before, where she started off at, here she is right here. She is on page 52. Yeah, page 52. And so you may be wondering, how did she move from page 52 to page 27? That seems kind of silly to us that she's going backwards to a page. And so the thing is that the different page ranges are different villages, different farms, whatever you want to call it. And so if she moves to a village that is recorded earlier in the book, she'll move to an earlier place in the book. So it's not a problem that she's moving to an earlier page. And so the next step that we would do would be to record the information that we have. When I say to record the information, what I'm talking about is attaching the record to your family tree and add any additional information that you found from the record to your individuals on your family tree. So for example, if you found a new child or you found a husband or whatever it is, then you would add that information to your family tree. So we would record this record right here, and I've already done that, and we're not going to spend time right here doing that. If you notice though, if we were to keep on looking, if we didn't see her, we are go on to the next page, page 28. Right here, it has the same village. No one's there except for these people, and none of them match. But over here, we have a new village right here. And so that's why it's important to be checking for the village every single time you look at a new page, just so you don't get into another village and look when you shouldn't be. And so if you do get to another village, then you reevaluate, come up with a different solution. Maybe look at your conclusion on where to look. Maybe you came to a wrong conclusion on which village or which book or something. So those are things to check. Sometimes people are written into a book on the same page several times. So just as Gustava was written in the same book several times, sometimes it happens on the same page. And so why that might be is they might have moved out of that village and then moved back in. Or they get married and start having a family, and so the minister writes them down below. And so here's an example right here. We've got this person right here named Gustav Einer, and he was born in 1895, and then he shows up again down a few lines right here. This is the exact same person. If you compare the information, 95, 17 over 2, 95, 17 over 2. And so if we go over to the moving out part, we see that he moved out to somewhere in 1911, and then he moved back in to the same village in 1913 when he's down here. And so that is one example of when they are written twice on the same page. So it is the same person. It's not two different people. It's the same person. Another example of this same thing is right here with this person right here. And so here she is right here, Ingrid Maya, I think. And she's born in 1792. And in this case, what happens is instead of writing her in twice on the same page, they just wrote the information in on the same line. So right here, it says that she moved, it looks like it says she moved in 1815 and then moved out in 1813. But what actually happened is she moved out in 1813, and then she moved back in 1815. So that's what's going on right there. And so there's several different ways that this minister or the minister can write that. So that's something to be aware of as well. And sometimes most of the time actually, when someone is crossed out, it means that either they died or they moved. And so that this person right here died. D-O with 2 dots above it. D means died, death. While other people, like this person right here, she just moved out. So that's why the names are being crossed out. Okay, so now we're going to come back to Gustava. And so this is the record that we found for her. And here she is right here, born in 1824. And so we're going to want to find where she went to next. And so right here is the column for moving out, right here. And so this is the year, and this is 2. So right here, it's blank. So, and here's blank as well. So what does that mean when it's blank? What does it mean? Where did she move to? And technically it means that she stayed in the same village. And most of the time that will work out, that she is just staying in the same village. And so they didn't write any moving out to place because she didn't move out. She's just going to be found in the next household examination book, the next year set. That's what we're going to want to do, is we're going to want to try and find her in the next household examination book. What I mean when I say that they stayed in the same place, that just means that between the year range of the previous household examination book and the year range of the next household examination book, they lived in the same village. So physically, they're in the same location. And what that means when you're looking at the books is that they are going to be listed under the same village that they were listed under in the previous household examination book. If we didn't remember what village she lived in this one right here, Greve Gordon. And so what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to go to the next household examination book, the one that covers the next year range, and we are going to find her in this exact same village. So this book right here is the one that's the next year range. And this book itself covers several different parishes, Vistorp and Nass. And so we're going to go to the index. That is the next step that we do. After we figure out what we know, we figure out where we're going to go next, which is, in this case, is this next book. And then we go to the index. And so that's what we're going to right now. And so here is the index for Nass, right here. And so we go down, and it's alphabetized. We look for that same village. And here is right here. It starts on page 112, and it ends on page 116. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to go to page 112, and we're going to look for her. Here we are at 112, and we are going to look through here to find her. So again, the easy way to do that is to look by the birth year. So we look for 1824. Not there. And it's always a good idea to look at the very bottom of an image because there are people down here lots of times, like these people. If she was right down here, we wouldn't have found her because we just would have looked at these people right here while zoomed in and seen that there's a big blank space, and gone on to the next page. But you always want to make sure to check the very bottom of the image. And so then we look on the next page. And so this one, it does not have a left and a right page that are identical. This one, it continues on. This is the entire row for this guy right here. So we're going to go on to the next page to keep looking for her. So be looking for her as well while we're going down. 1824. Nope, not that page. Okay. 1824. Okay, there we go. 1824. And yes, it is her. It's her name. And that's her birth month and day. Perfect. So we found her. That's exactly what we want to do. And so then this kind of process can continue. And this is one tool in tracing her.